Welcome back. In this chapter, we shall learn to remove check by application of the second principle, that is block. Blocking the check can be done by bringing in one of your piece or pawn between the chessman, which is giving a check to your king. So let us try to understand this principle through the following examples. In this position, we see the black king on h4 is giving check to the white king on h1. Here, white cannot move his king to g1 as it is controlled by the bishop on c5. So the only way for him to get the king out of check is by blocking, and this can be done by moving the queen to h3 and shielding the king from check. The next example, and here what do we see, that white moves his queen to d4 and gives a check to the black king on g7. And now here we can see three ways in which the blocking can be done. Black can move his pawn one square forward to f6 and we see him shielding the check from the queen. Similarly, he can also move his pawn which is on e6 to e5 and block the check. And of course, one more way available for him to block the check is by moving the queen to e5, but in fact this would not be a good block, because here we see that black queen has no protection and it can be captured by the white queen. So one thing again, just repeating this block principle again, is to bring one of your opponents, one of your piece or pawn in between the chessman of opponent, which is giving a check to your king. And now here in this example we see white bishop on c5 giving check to the king on e7, and black can block this check by moving his bishop on g3 to d6. The concluding example of removing check by block is we see a check from the rook on f1, and now here black has option of blocking the check in a variety of way. He can of course move his knight to f7, which he did it in the game, but he also has a choice of moving his rook to f5, rook on e5, which is standing on e5 to f5, or his queen to f6 or f4, but then that would turn out to be a bad block because that piece does not have a protection. For example, you can see when he played knight f7, the knight has the protection of the king, it's defending this. But if you are playing rook to f5, it will again lead to a free capture of your rook, no protection whatsoever. Or even if you say are moving your queen to f6, and of course we know that queen is the strongest piece, so it is not good strategy to put queen in line of the opponent's smaller pieces, so that it can be captured by either the knight or by the rook. There are both the options available to the player playing with white pieces. So I hope you have understood this second principle of getting the king out of check by blocking. With this, I take your leave and will be back with the final part, the final principle of removing the check by capture. Thank you.